for graph quadratics in standard form, you could factor this using area diamond, get the x-intercepts, get the vertex, and do it that way. I do actually want you to know how to use the calculator to your advantage, just because it's a tool that you will always have pretty much every time you take a math test, and it's an excellent way to kind of just double check yourself. So feel free to just factor these and do it without the calculator. I'll show you how to do one or two with the calculator. Okay, so I think we had x squared. And you know, I know you may not be familiar with Desmos, but it's worth getting familiar with it so that you have that at home. Whoopsie. X squared plus 4x when you need to graph something. Yikes, there we go, 4x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to hit graph, and I can see that my x-intercepts appear to be right about, oh, looks like we're going to have some fractions for x-intercepts. So let's do this with the table. Menu, table, split screen table. So my x-intercepts are actually between -1 and 0. And then I've got another one over here between, it looks like -4 and -3. So you actually wouldn't be able to factor this with area diamond. You'd have to use quadratic formula. So actually the calculator does really benefit you here, or Desmos. So I'm just going to find where that vertex is. It looks like it's at -3. So I'm looking and I see I've got -4 is 1, -3 is -2, -2 is -3. So it looks like -3 is my lowest point. So I'm going to graph the point -2, -3 as my vertex. And then I'm just going to graph any other point on the graph. Why don't we do our y-intercept? Y-intercept is 0, 1. Okay, easy enough. That's really all you have to do for this topic. I'll do one more, and maybe I'll do the next topic mixed in with this video. Okay, I'm going to type this in, 1/5 x squared, and you can actually I don't know if you know about this, but you can do control. I think it was Marlene discovered this. Let's see, was that 1/5? Yeah, 1/5 x squared minus 2x minus 1. To get that little template, you can do control divide. Of course, if you're using Desmos at home, I think you can just type in 1 divided by 5. If you're using the calculator, you do need to be careful to type a minus right there and a minus right there. 1/5 x squared minus 2x minus 1. Okay, now let's I'm going to use a different way to get the vertex, just so you have this as a tool in your toolbox. We've done it before, analyze graph, minimum. I'm going to bring this dotted line to the left. I'm giving the calculator a window to search for that minimum. There's my vertex, 5, -6. So let me bring this over to 5, -6, and I got to move this over. Okay, and then I just need one other point on the graph. I'm going to do trace, menu, trace, graph trace. And it popped up right on my x-intercept. If it didn't, I could type in any point and it will give me the y. I wouldn't want to use that because I'm not really sure if Khan's going to be able to graph something like 1.2, but something like 0, 1, 0, -1, that's perfect. If I type in 1, it's also a decimal. So looks like my x-intercept is going to be the best one, or my y-intercept is going to be the best one to graph. So 0, -1. So there, I know I went kind of fast through that. You might need to slow that down. Let me do graphing parabolas of all forms. Okay, if you did the shifting and transforming exercises, then this should look a little bit familiar. This is going to be shifted 4 to the right and 5 up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to show you what this looks like if it weren't shifted at all. If it was just y equals x squared, it would look like this. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and so on. This 4 is going to move it 4 to the right, and the 5 is going to move it 5 up. So the vertex, my vertex is going to be at 4, 5. And that 2 is going to stretch it vertically by 2. So instead of the first point being 1 to the right and 1 up, it's going to be 1 to the right and 2 up. Now, you may not know for sure how to do all of that. Just use your calculator. Type it in. Great way, even if you're kind of guessing on some of those movements, to say, did I do it right? Okay, there's the graph, and I realize it's, whoopsie, I shouldn't move that around. X, down, up, okay. Okay, and then you could just do the table, which Control T is a shortcut for the table, and get some points using the table. You've got your vertex right here. You can see that the graph goes down to a low point of 5 and then it starts going up again. So there's your vertex, and you need one other point. You might do your, well, that's not going to fit. 3, 7. That would be another point that would fit on the graph. So let's try another one. Okay, now this, I would use the calculator here. So negative 1/5 x squared plus 2x. Whoopsie. Okay, now I could do the maximum, menu, analyze graph, maximum, dotted line to the left of the vertex, dotted line to the right. There's my vertex, 5, 5. And then I just need one other point on the graph, and it looks like it's going through 0, 0. If I do menu, I can confirm that. It pops up right on the y-intercept. So I'm going to put this at 0, 0, and you're done. Okay, I think you can handle this either using the graph or this one here. You should recognize what the x-intercepts are. That's going through 3 and 7, and then if you just plug in what's halfway between 3 and 7, 5, plug in a 5 for x, get the value for y, there's your vertex. Alright, I'm going to stop there.